Converter.
Converter.
And the catalytic converter will never be scaled to a size where it makes any sense under the hood of any car.
Didn't you say that the girl in your dream had a converter just like mine?
If the commander were here, he could use the converter to pay us, but he's been abducted.
A lawsuit for the catalytic converter, yes.
They have memos proving that Detroit conspired to suppress the converter, proving they would rather poison our air than spend a little bit of money.
使改变信仰的人。
Convertible.
Convertible.
It was from wrestling with Tay in the backseat of that darned old convertible of his.
Take my car, convertible.
This is an Infinity convertible.
Vintage convertible Mercedes.
Whoa, when did I get a convertible?
可改变的，有活动棚的汽车。
Convex.
Convex.
I'm very convex, Chief of Special Programs, and I'd like to invite you into the world of spectacular optical. An enthusiastic global corporate citizen.
There was a convex mirror up there.
Mr. Convex has recorded a little introduction for you.
The glass is convex, 10 inches thick, which accounts for the magnifying effect.
But you are kind of convex, you know.
中凸的，凸状。
Convey.
Convey.
I wanted to convey sheer size.
I was simply attempting to use your vernacular to convey an idea.
I wish to convey a special message from my heart.
Please convey my deepest apologies to your colleague out there.
When you meet them in person, they convey that passion and that energy.
传达。
Conveyance.
Conveyance.
Doctor's conveyance is not in parking zone.
Huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me that I stood like a man at a mark.
Is a doctor's conveyance still in the parking zone?
Our only problem at the moment is to find some form of conveyance from here to Allahabad.
Tell him that by his license, Fortinbras craves the conveyance of a promised march over his kingdom.
运输。
Conveyor.
Conveyor.
Conveyor belts for cattle?
I put the shoe on the conveyor belt.
The digital conveyor?
The operation of the conveyor is much more art than science.
You'll be getting a telegram tomorrow morning from a sick man in New York whose medicine is in his luggage on a conveyor belt in Twin Oaks, Ohio.
搬运者。
Convict.
Convict.
Because what if it's some escaped convict looking to rape innocent college girls?
He was transporting a convict.
They'd say that if they try you and convict you, you won't get more than a year and a day.
Only I wouldn't show him in a convict suit with stripes so his children could see the picture in the paper or his mother.
There's no jury in the world that could convict us.
囚犯，宣告有罪。
Conviction.
Conviction.
He should conclude that the New Bailey will become the symbol of our time and the future that our conviction has rewarded us.
Those in favor of conviction.
We don't have enough for a conviction. Fine.
Will be to appoint a special district attorney to arrange for the indictment, prosecution, and conviction.
You three realize that since you can't get a conviction on this case, I can't count it against your quota of 10 arrests.
定罪。
Convince.
Convince.
He is the only man I ever did or could love, and I know you will convince him of it.
How are you going to convince me or anybody else that you're being fair to yourself and your husband by keeping this baby instead of saving your own life?
How did you convince Alan you hated him?
Luckily, you're wearing that helmet, so I was able to convince him that, you ride the short bus.
There's no way we can convince anyone we actually like each other.
说服。
Convincing.
Convincing.
I admit you made a convincing case, but my first responsibility is to Lily, and I'm telling you, it's too risky.
Keaton took convincing.
Okay, I thought you might feel weird, so I thought maybe you'd need a little convincing.
Very convincing. Well, it took some convincing, but the publishers are sending up a new mock-up.
使人信服的。
Convivial.
Convivial.
And a convivial Tuesday in April to you too, Pool.
As you know, it was at this stage of our convivial proceedings that we planned to an enthusiastic toast.
He was a convivial fellow.
So convivial.
What a joy it is to indulge in convivial conversation with a fellow being, a kindred spirit.
酒宴的。
Convocation.
Convocation.
A certain convocation of politic worms are even at him.
A certain convocation of politic worms are e'en at him.
Our liege Lord Henry, to his trusty, well-beloved subjects, pontiffs in the Canterbury Convocation.
Simon has agreed to perform a convocation tonight.
We didn't see the girls together as a group until convocation September 7th.
召集
Convoke.
Convoke.
I will convoke such a commission.
召集开会
Convoluted.
Convoluted.
And just like you, he blamed everything he did on some deeper meaning, convoluted conspiracy theories, and
now I'm going to tell you my whole plan, and then I'm going to come up with some absurd and convoluted way to kill you, and you'll find an equally convoluted way to escape.
Sometimes I made the deal so convoluted, it was hard for me to work out if they were on the level.
The plot was convoluted and the acting wasn't very good, but I see why you wanted me to watch it.
You're so convoluted.
盘绕的
Convoy.
Convoy.
Chagart and Gordon again request permission to secure until convoy arrives.
Like you said in the convoy.
Sink the convoy.
The only way is with the press convoy.
There's going to be an attack on a British passenger convoy.
护送护航
Convulse.
Convulse.
All right, convulse me.
Anyways, I just thought if I didn't give him time to think about it, then he wouldn't have time to convulse.
If you start to convulse, we'll know you're telling the truth.
Tell me your most painful moment, the one that makes you convulse with sobs when you think of it.
There's no sign here of the strikes and lockouts that convulsed Moscow and Odessa.
使震动
Convulsion.
Convulsion.
A tiny convulsion of a tiny blood vessel.
And usually just before a convulsion.
Even while the boy was coming, the demon threw him to the ground in a convulsion.
I think it may have been a febrile convulsion.
震动
Coup.
Coup.
Do I bill and coo and say, I love you, Phil, I love you, Phil?
I am Ricky Koo, the doctor of dance.
I still work at the firm, but I'm COO now.
We spent the last year clawing each other's eyes out for a promotion to COO.
You're COO.
Here.
咕咕的叫 VT 鸽子的叫声
Cook.
Cook.
Cook out at the alibi.
My mother's a wonderful cook.
They need to help me cook too.
We've never had someone in the family work as a cook.
You can cook too?
厨子烹调在煮着
Cookbook.
Cookbook.
All I have is The Joy of Cooking by Irma Rombar, which is an excellent cookbook, but it's not French.
I was supposed to be at Florence Pugh's cookbook release party at the Barnes & Noble at the Grove.
If I really wanted to learn to cook, I could just cook my way through Julia Child's cookbook.
Our intrepid literary scout, Avis Devoto, is friends with some woman who's written a huge French cookbook.
We wanted to write a French cookbook for American women who do not have cooks.
食谱
Cooker.
Cooker.
Enough to handle a pressure cooker like this?
He's got one foot in the frying pan and one in the pressure cooker.
How do I get to the cooker?
I had to make beef stroganoff in the pressure cooker.
How'd it take?
We'll keep the lid on the pressure cooker a while longer.
炊事用具
Cookery.
Cookery.
I'm also taking a course on laughing, and I'm studying Protestant cookery.
Don't.
It is very good in cookery.
Left you her cookery stuff, huh?
No marks for cookery.
Would you be so kind as to point me to the section that deals with home cookery?
烹调法
Cookie.
Cookie.
I've got brownies and magic cookie bars.
If you think I'm getting back on the competition floor with some stupid, watered-down cookie-cutter routine, you're seriously senile.
It is Whole Foods' top organic cookie seller and that we created the brand.
How do we control the cookie?
Watch, learn, and don't eat my cookie.
饼干
Cool.
Cool.
Everyone seems cool compared to Robo Mom.
How about a nice cool drink, varmints?
Look, we've had a little time to cool off.
Not cool, guys. Not cool.
You're probably cool as a cucumber.
凉爽凉爽的冷却
Coolant.
Coolant.
Coolant levels on reserve, but well within the safety line.
I want to check the coolant valve.
Plasma coolant will liquefy organic material on contact.
The mainframe is out of the coolant!
There must have been a coolant leak.
冷却剂
Cooler.
Cooler.
It seemed cooler when we were singing about it.
It's getting cooler.
Like Tara. She and Willow are both witches. They do spells and stuff, which is so much cooler than slaying. I told Mom one time I wish they'd teach me some of the things they do together.
Let me see if I can make it a little cooler.
This is cooler.
冷却器
Coolie.
Coolie.
As opposed to 5 minutes ago when I was calmly and coolly trying to find an intelligent solution to this very problem.
But if you do it coolly.
We're so coolly.
It's like instead of being hurt by this, you've been coolly planning the whole thing.
Seaborn breeze coolly kissing the sweat at his chest and neck.
沉着
Coolness.
Coolness.
Already the boasted British coolness has given place to blind panic.
And they learned that real coolness isn't about the color of your fur.
His vessel having suffered serious damage at night in the English Channel, Captain Ambrose, by his coolness, courage, and fine seamanship,
let the coolness get into our vertebrae.
The coolest, the Fred Astaire Brooklyn, the boogie woogie man, the man that gave you coolness, hotness, and everything you wanted.
冷
Cooperate.
Cooperate.
After 10 years in braces, I guess my teeth finally decided to cooperate.
Are you ready to cooperate?
Because if I do decide to cooperate...
I told you to cooperate with these people. I'll get them to cooperate.
合作
Cooperation.
Cooperation.
And I want you to know that you have the full cooperation of my organization, SNAP. Full cooperation.
I need to know how to force their cooperation or hammer them hard if they won't.
I'm all for cooperation.
Thank you for your cooperation.
合作
Cooperative.
Cooperative.
And since nothing can stop the launch now, he's being very, very cooperative.
So we'd appreciate it if you'd be a bit more cooperative.
We were told you would be cooperative.
Well, that's the kind of advice I like because, like I said, I'm a cooperative guy.
You've been very cooperative.
合作的
Coordinate.
Coordinate.
Here, in case we need to coordinate.
I coordinate.
I need you to coordinate with Lewis and set up a number to count.
Let's say that you wanted to coordinate with spaceships on different sides of the Earth.
On my way down, coordinate search and rescue.
同等的人同等的协调
Coordinator.
Coordinator.
And our intimacy coordinator was amazing.
Hey, have you seen Dan the coordinator one's photos of us dancing?
I mean, how could you believe something as ridiculous as Doug and the wedding coordinator?
There's no pairing coordinator on the East door.
You're the fashion coordinator?
协调者
Cop.
Cop.
Every cop knows that.
Well, whether you're the good cop or the bad cop.
Well, the cop said she dropped the hairdryer in the bath and fried herself.
Yeah, he got arrested for taking a whiz on a cop car.
Heard about the cop who got his badge picked?
警官抓住
Cope.
Cope.
I can cope with torture.
I don't want her to have to fucking cope. So I have to move my body to be able to cope with it.
There were so many bodies washed up on the shore. The Coast Guard complained they couldn't cope.
竞争长跑
Copier.
Copier.
A copier is a copier.
A new copier!
And do you think that you could put the magazines inside the copier before you press the button that says copy? Do you know how to push a button on a copier that says copy?
Miriam, is the copier working again?
誊写者
Copious.
Copious.
Copious amounts of cocaine everywhere.
Having a copious quantity of something.
We grow copious amounts of ganja, yeah?
When will you get it into your head that one can produce a copious, regular, and exquisitely turned evacuation every day of the week and still be a stranger to reason?
You've got to slap on like copious quantities of the old industrial sputum there.
很多的
Copper.
Copper.
Ticket back to Copper Island? Bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens.
The copper wire.
You, Copper, I'm allowed to chat to you, aren't I?
Your weakness is copper?
铜
Cops.
Cops.
I can assure you, you will find only the finest at Madame Cobb's.
Thou followest him, thou must needs take my cops home.
We're going to adopt a copse.
矮邻
Copulate.
Copulate.
By all means, copulate with her, but marriage, what for?
I could copulate for England at any distance.
Tony's about to copulate with a creature from outer space.
The only trouble with snake women is they copulate with horses.
The rich copulate less often than the poor, but when they do, they take more of their clothes off.
交构连接的
Copy.
Copy.
Copy that.
Downstairs, right now, is a copy of myself.
I'm not gonna get a copy of that book.
I'm not here for the copy machine. Just call up Harvard and ask for a copy of his transcript.
副本复印
Copyright.
Copyright.
Call the patent office, copyright the name Green Goblin.
Copyright Batman.
I didn't realize that was a copyright infringement. Oh, Harry, it's a fake label. Copyright infringement.
So, there might be copyright issues at the very least.
版权
Coral.
Coral.
And don't you like coral?
You're looking at me, Coral.
Milland was a passenger in the vehicle and had been targeted in an ongoing observation of the Pink Coral Inn.
Seriously though, that coral is fucked.
The berries of the coral bush are beautiful, but Tuma Wyatt made them deadly to eat.
珊瑚
Cord.
Cord.
I believe the head cord contains lime oil.
I was out here working and my cord must have gotten caught.
Look, I know Abu Ahmed is your baby, but it is time to cut the umbilical cord.
So you're cutting the cord?
Well, it was definitely... I was like, I can't believe I'm giving mini cord away, but the little girl was so happy, and her eyes lit up, and she even had like a little tear.
绳索
Cordial.
Cordial.
I do wish you'd be a little more cordial to her.
I feel like we could at least be cordial at our best friend's wedding just for the weekend.
I'd say that was rather less cordial than he was used to.
I'm afraid the Vice President and I had a less than cordial encounter yesterday, sir.
Oh, you're very cordial, Carla. Especially when your wine sales are ahead of mine.
兴奋剂热忱的
Cordiality.
Cordiality.
Gentlemen, I greet you with cordiality and good cheer, and it's a pleasure to be accorded this great honor.
He camouflaged his depressions and derangements with masquerades of extreme cordiality, courtesy, and goodwill towards others.
I must say I'm used to more cordiality than that.
On such occasions, the proud man steps forth to meet you not with the cordiality of affection, but with the suspicion.
So let me show you what my cordiality is, hombre.
热诚
Cordless.
Cordless.
Let me bring the cordless phone to her room.
Oh, it's cordless.
Right, I'm just looking for a cordless phone.
That cordless drill, that was a real leap forward for you, wasn't it?
Where's your cordless?
无绳索的
Cordon.
Cordon.
Dear Avis, I'm in my third week at Le Cordon Bleu, and I'm in utter bliss.
Once all suspects are in the house, Kenyan Special Forces will launch a cordon search.
Troops have been rushed across the Potomac River from Fort Myer and have thrown a cordon around the ship.
You were going to make a cordon bleu with chicken thighs?
哨兵线用警戒线围住
Corduroy.
Corduroy.
A tall man in a corduroy suit.
Corduroy, scrounged by Hendley.
Good shotgun, plenty of ammunition, some corduroy breeches, plain shirt.
His corduroy trousers were tied around the knees with lengths of white string.
Yeah, he was wearing a green cable knit sweater vest and a new pair of corduroy slacks.
灯芯绒做的
Core.
Core. I mean, the core of man's spirit comes from new experiences.
If it gets too big, it'll be able to draw power from the Earth's core.
That's ego's core.
We are getting to the core of the issue. And the core of that issue.
What happened was you had drifted right through the core systems and
核心挖的核